Hi, and welcome to Star Lighthouse. I'm Prashant, and this is weekly reading for Sun, Moon, Venus rising in Aries. This is a general read, so I suggest you take whatever message resonates with you and leave everything else behind. And if the reading does connect with you, there is an extended to it. The link for that extension is below in the description box. I hope you like the reading, and if you do, please do like, subscribe, and share. That would be very helpful. So, Aries, how was your Thanksgiving? Hopefully, you were able to spend some time with your family and friends, if it was even virtual. So let's focus on the thought, the feeling, the question that brought you to this reading. Let's focus on that. Take a deep breath with me. Exhale it out and let go of everything else. Just focus on that thought and feeling. And let's see what's going on with you this week. Nine of Pentacles. Being blocked by Five of Swords. So there might have been deception in the recent past. Past situations, Two of Coins, could have resulted because of you juggling and not being completely focused at one or the other situation. Mind's ambition, Eight of Swords, blindfolds. So somebody very close to you might have lied to you about a financial situation or the project they got you involved in. And they might have very well known that the project situation opportunity would fail. Like they knew that from get-go that's a failure to go. But they got you involved for their own narcissistic purposes, like either to bring you down, like by putting a negative remark on your own personal accolades, and or the other ways, like they wanted to make sure that you lose money. Heart's desire, finding the inner magician, and future situations, the sun. So you will move forward. You seemingly would let go of the situation, or you will find the right truth. And the right truth probably in this situation would be letting go of all these blindfolds, the lies, the illusions they created around you. So they might have told you a lot of incorrect information from get-go about either the situation or the relationship itself. Whatever working relationship, personal, professional, otherwise you were in, that might have been false from get-go. Finding the inner magician and the sun would allow you to understand your own true power and your own truth, using your own intellect and understanding, able to connect to your own intuitions, able to look back at past situations and understand how this person had been creating these systematic patterns to eventually cause this deception and possibly make you lose a lot of money. Suggested advice or action, Ace of Chalices, finding inner love, inner trust again. That could happen when you go through a situation like this where you're deceived by someone really close. Seemingly the person you had some sort of trust on the person. Eight of Swords point towards that you had trust on it. See how they are blindfolds on yourself, and then now you cannot see the boundary around you. So it's like somebody very close to you tried to tame you, try to tame your energy, specifically if you have energy of the level of a sun. By that I mean like you might be the star of your family, you might be the star of your peer group, you might be the star at your workplace. But somebody around you didn't let you understand that. It's a mutual, like you were also in, like you were probably also naive by letting putting all your trust in this person and ensuring that you were blindfolded. But at the same time, you cannot completely blame yourself because the other person had this narcissistic ability inside for them to be able to abuse people who have star power. And how they do that is make you involved in multiple situations, make you juggle multiple opportunities, and then start creating fear in your mind about one or the other opportunity failing. And then once one starts failing, the emotional effect cascades on the other one too. It's like multiple opportunities start failing. And that's how this person did it to you. They made sure that the opportunities or the situations you were involved in, either because of situational reasons or otherwise, they were supposed to fail from get-go. And they tried to make sure it looks like it was a test for you before you could step up into a new role. So now suggested advice is finding your inner trust. Context for this advice is Moon, connecting to your own mystery, your own heart, your own feelings. So a situation like this where you might have been deceived by someone who had been playing games with you for a very long while, months or even years. You might have had placed a lot of trust in this person and they seemingly kind of backstabbed you. Like in this Five of Swords, see how those two swords are parked in the skull. It's like the person knew your internal thought process. And that's how they were able to backstab you. They understood what goes inside your brain. That's how they were able to create these multiple situations, able to create these opportunities that look like initially, like you are being treated, you are the star of the show, you're getting so much work, you're getting so much importance. But then you over time started realizing that it was a systematic way of getting you involved into juggling multiple opportunities, and most of them were situationally failing. In a way to bring you down your shining confidence. It's like the person who would have deceived you, who would have actually created these illusions, these barriers around you. You were not their possible first victim, whose power they were trying to steal. They understood the game way beforehand. Like they were doing this thing for a very long while. You happen to understand because you're more powerful than most of the other people were around. In terms of what I'm trying to say is your intuitions, your ability to understand you are in an incorrect situation. So when you are in an incorrect situation, any action, any task, any thought you have would at its core be based out of fear. Because a negative situation will propagate us to think from a fear standpoint or an aggressive standpoint where we either trying to attack or defend. Either scenarios we are not completely focused and not completely centered. We're not grounded. And in both scenarios, so attack would be a scenario where you felt initially you're getting so much importance, so you charged all these situations. But then these situations started failing because of political, like social, otherwise, like whatever reasons, they started getting blocked. And then the milestones for months became 6 months, 6 months became years. It's just like they kept changing the game. It's like they knew how the person or the people who were playing these games, they knew how to bind you down inside this tornado type of situation where you go from the top and from a wide circle down through the funnel to a bottom hole, and then you cannot come out. Then they can suck up all that energy for their own benefit. So Nine of Pentacles is a lot about finding abundance, like this youthful abundance in Pentacles. Finding that inner magician, all these 2 points towards that whatever you believed you deserved in terms of money, abundance, self-abundance. It's like at times it's hard to understand the money we earn, we should also spend on ourselves. We have this guilty feeling about us that, especially for a lot of people who came from tight-knit family circles, to share that wealth becomes a thought process within us. And we have this guilty feeling within us when we start splurging on ourselves. We tend not to realize that it's a gift or a byproduct of your own efforts trying to make that situation happen, which made you happy, so you are allowed to splurge on yourself. And by not believing that you can splurge on yourself, our desire to invest on ourselves or invest in our luxury goes down. That desire going down creates like this cumulative effort on rest of your ambition. In other ways of saying that investing on your self-luxury, investing on your self-care kind of creates the bottom threshold of all your dreams. Everything above is luxury. So spending on basic luxury for self kind of creates a base threshold, and now then you can keep splurging up. So if you keep raising this base threshold, your ambitions will keep going up, and then the more you keep going up, the more you eventually share with people around. But we tend to have this guilty feeling about not to spend on ourselves, and then we create this lack of self-respect, lack of self-deserve. What I'm trying to say is that we eventually create this mindset that, oh, we don't deserve that much money because there's so many people who are poor and hungry than us. That's correct, that's fine. I'm not trying to say that's incorrect and we should not care about those people, but first you have to put on your own oxygen mask and then help others. The same way, first you have to find your own luxury and then you can help other people, help your family and around. All those things, like all those lies, all those, not lies, but illusionary responsibilities created this idea about you that you don't deserve too much luxury, you don't deserve too much abundance. So 9 of Pentacles specifically is self-luxury, self-abundance, and you don't deserve it. So somebody created this idea and then binded you inside multiple opportunities, failing opportunities. So your confidence started going down. And that's what I'm trying to say, that don't blame yourself too much. The only part you have to blame yourself, or if any, is to understand that you were naive previously, and you have to look back and understand all the games. And by games, what I mean is that it's a basically kind of a setup, or if you think of a chessboard, or if you, any strategy game that you might have played, think of that, and it's just your opponent was playing better than you, and you could not understand that they knew your tells. That's how they were able to put these swords in your skull. They knew your tells, they understood your tell, you just could not understand theirs. Now it's your opportunity to understand their tells. So what we need to do is, we need to just go back to all these situations. Now this is where it comes, the moon, the mystery. We got involved in these blindfolds, these illusionary boundaries because of fear. Because of fear of failing at juggling all these opportunities, fear of losing social respect, fear of losing work respect, fear of not able to make money, losing ambitions, having a recursive cycle, eventually in this vicious hole where we now don't know how to get out of. First of all, that getting to that vicious hole allowed you to understand there's more to yourself. There's an inner magician inside you. If you haven't got into that hole, you might not have understood it. You would have part of the same system as most of the people are. So be happy that you went through that. I know it's really hard to say that, even understand that. On the other side, be happy that you went through a negative curve. But that negative curve made you find this magician and will eventually make you understand your true power, your sun. Now this is where we want to get towards, the sun. How do we get towards? First step, rebuild self-trust. An extremely important step when you would have gone through deception presently or in a recent past. In either scenarios, understanding what led to that situation, understanding all the previous fears that brought you to that spot is the key. How do we do that? Step by step. We keep backtracking, conversations by conversation which we felt went incorrect or became chaotic or resulted into you finding yourself at the bottom of the hole. We backtrack those conversations. We just start noting down anything that sticks to us or anything that even we remember. Because whatever we remember, it's basically our conscious stored that in our backup memory for a while, hoping that some point you would need that information again. What happens is at times our reflexes, specifically for people who are very intuitive, our reflexes pick up a lot of information that we might not even be aware about. So unconsciously might be focusing, like, and I'm talking to you about what this video is about. But my reflexes and my peripheral visions are picking up a lot of sensory data. I might not even be processing that data in this moment, but eventually, if there is something that sticks out in this background, that information will get stored and come back to me at a later stage. Similar thing happens to every intuitive people, that they have a tendency of storing information that sticks out in a situation. That's where you need to go backtrack those situations which you felt became chaotic, which aggressively became chaotic, had a cascading effect on each other. Backtrack those conversations. They would be a pattern as to how this blindfold got set up around you, how these boundaries got set up around you. They definitely would be a pattern. Now, what lies in that pattern is the tale of the other person. Once you start identifying their patterns, once you start identifying as to how they bring you from one spot to the other spot in a circle, and that circle spot goes down and down and down. So how they do that, you would see that when you backtrack all those remembered thoughts, you start jotting them down, you would see that there is a specific tell sign as to when they bring up that specific statement that triggers your fear. That triggers your fear of not being able to complete these multiple tasks, the fear of losing social respect, the fear of lack of abundance. On all those information, there's tell signs as to how they trigger your fear. That's what you need to understand. Once you start understanding the tell signs when they're about to trigger your fear, your mind would be able to create a defense mechanism. Find this inner trust inside you. That defense mechanism would not let you get triggered by them, give into fear, and then give into an incorrect emotion pertaining to the situation, allowing them to further create these deceptions, these games, and keep pushing you down and keeps abusing you. So hopes and fears. Two of Swords, fearing a conflict and potential outcome. Nine of Swords. You are stuck in your nightmares right now, and in the future you seemingly still are, because you are fearing this conflict. You are fearing having this conflict with the person who created these blindfolds and deceptions around you. You're fearing this person who backstabbed you, and fearing having this confronting argument with them, fearing asking them the questions, expressing them how you feel right now, how you felt in the past. You're fearing all that. And all that fear is just basically making harder and harder for you to sleep, giving you insomnia, creating nightmares at night. It's basically your subconscious telling you you're not happy. You are not happy. Are you listening to me? You're not happy. So I better hope you listen to your subconscious, because clearly you are circumferenced by fear right now. Eight of Swords, all these swords around you, they create this illusionary boundary, and somehow because of these blindfolds you cannot even see or feel your own wings. So somehow you're stuck in that boundary. You're stuck in your own nightmares, you're stuck in your own fears. You're stuck in the fear of social respect, you're stuck in the fear of losing money, you're stuck in the fear of survivability. understanding how much power resides within you, magician, and understanding your true strength, your true intellect, your wisdom. If you're an athlete, your physical strength. If you're an artist, your creative power. Understanding that creativeness, innovativeness, uniqueness within you, and then harnessing that ability to, like an alchemist, create gold for self. Once you start understanding your true power, once you start understanding your intuitiveness, like how strongly intuitive you are, how important that skill is, and how much you were getting exploited by other people who understand the power of your skill. Especially if you had been working in a corporate conglomerate, a pyramidal structure. People higher up the hierarchies, they understand very well what the trigger points are for people under the hierarchy, how to keep them stay in that pyramid, how to keep exploiting them, how to keep abusing them. So specifically, if you were in that kind of a system, there is now time for you to just start believing in yourself, start finding your creative power, innovativeness, uniqueness, harness this like an alchemist, and create personal abundance. So now you have realized you have been deceived. Now you realize that there are illusionary boundaries around you in this moment. Those illusionary boundaries are in a way creating this fear that if you break those boundaries, something bad is going to happen to you. Someone believing in itself, someone who trusts themselves, someone who truly mastered their own fear. They don't fear darkness, they don't fear breaking those illusionary boundaries, they don't fear what might be on the other side. Rather, they get an adrenaline rush by breaking those boundaries. Rather, they get adrenaline rush by facing that fear. Rather, they get adrenaline rush by looking into the darkness. It just, they understand that whatever may come, they truly trust in their own abilities, that they would be able to handle it. And they would not interfere or mess around in a situation which is not conducive or not connected to their own abilities or skills. So they don't even interfere in those situations. Whatever they perform, work, or participate in, they are very well suited for it. And that's why they act like a magician to everyone else. They look like a magician to everyone else. That's how they look like an alchemist who can suddenly create gold out of thin air. Yesterday they were nothing, and in a year they're like everything. It's because they truly understood their true strength, their true power, their true value. They truly understood that rather than blaming or being stuck in that system which has been binding you in these illusionary boundaries, it's better to step out into your own light, step out into your own sun, and shine for everyone else. Once you start shining like a sun for everyone else, you would just draw everyone towards you. It's like how plants get drawn towards the sun. It's very same concept. Start shining like a sun for everyone else. Start believing in your creative, innovative, unique powers. It doesn't have to be like you can fly like a Superman, but understanding what makes you unique, what gives you curiosity, what makes you want to wake up every single morning, that by itself would give you a drive, that itself would give you a motivation to go out and perform. Once you start building that daily habit to want to go out and perform, that would start creating a routine, a habit. This is your own inner curiosity, ability that you were here for, not what someone else who got stuck you in the system made you believe that all these failures, all these you're not being able to juggle these multiple opportunities and then start failing at them is your fault. Not making you realize that they were environmental, like circumstantial issues around them. So let go of those fears, start connecting to yourself, start trusting yourself. How do we do that? It's like whenever you feel fearful in any situation, if initially, like the initial few times you don't want to act out, just come back home, write down why you felt fearful, what made you not want to act in that situation. Sooner or later you start realizing that all these fears are illusionary, because once you start writing about your current fear or what you felt in this moment and why you were fearful and why did it make you not act, once you start writing about it, your mind by itself will give you an answer. Okay, you could have done something else. It's specifically because you allow your mind to breathe and talk to you then. And it's a very smart organ. It's an extremely smart computer once you let it talk to you. So I would just say, shine in your own light. Start connecting to yourself. Start trusting yourself. Let go of those illusionary boundaries. Go face the darkness. Go face the fear. Don't be scared of fear. Don't be scared of darkness. Especially when you are the sun. You are the source of light. So why are you scared of darkness? Go be your sun. So Aries, I hope you are able to get past this deception. I hope you don't face these nightmares, or eventually able to face them and go through them. I hope you're able to shine in your light. I hope you start trusting yourself and start expressing yourself. Truly believe that when you shine like your own sun, everyone will get attracted towards you. You will find all the abundance you need. It will happen. Aries, if this reading connected with you, I have an extended for it. In the extension, I would further look at how to get past our emotions during this deception, how to balance them, how to face these nightmares and messages from the oracle. All of that I would look in the extended. If there would be a timing card related to any opportunity, I would also look at that in the extended. If you would like to join me there, the link for that is below in the description box. I hope you liked the reading, and if you did, please do like, subscribe, and share. Thanks for joining me, and have an amazing week. Bye.